My husband wants to open our marriage after 17 years of monogamy. I am scared. Any hints? My name is Valdo Lallemand and I'm a relationship coach. I fully understand your concern and your deep worries as, marriage doesn't have a good track record. The average divorce rate is about 50% and that number grows to 92% for open marriages. It is no secret that marriage requires a lot of work and there are lots of ups and downs. And sometimes the downs, like seasons, we have the wonderful summer, we have beautiful leaves, and then we have a winter in which basically things feel dry and cold. So many marriages experience that winter before spring, if there is a spring. Now on the treacherousness. Basically, when we have sex with other people, we get attached to them. So here, men and women are very different. Men, of course, there are men and women who have affairs no matter what, but men tend to have affairs to stay in a marriage with a woman she loves, but she's often not meeting his sexual need. And so if that is your case, I would invite you to look at, what are his sexual needs? What does he want that I'm not providing? How can we learn together to provide that to you so that you and I can remain or basically regain playfulness and sexiness and excitement about having sex together again. On the other hand, women, of course, not the ones who have affairs no matter what, but tend to have affairs to get out of a marriage in which they are no longer happy. So my understanding is that your husband is the one who wants to open the marriage, but it may be good to tell him, hey, darling, if I have sex with other men, I'm likely going to dump you because I am no longer satisfied in our relationship. So here, men who have affairs do this because of insecurity. The affairs make them feel good about themselves. And this is not about the fragile male ego, it's just that men need and thrive when women respect them, and women tend to have affairs because of neglect. So the neglect is not necessarily his fault. Sometimes it's life because we have 2 jobs and children and this and that. It's also because many women or too many women do not love themselves. They do not love their body with its natural curves and beauties and smells and juices, all things that are wonderful. But when a woman shows up to a marriage not loving herself, it is very, very, very difficult for a man, however well-intentioned, to love her and fully accept her. This is the place in which you likely have a lot of built-up resentment that I invite you to look at and not project on him, especially if he is willing to grow. I am personally deeply monogamous and do not have any interest in a relationship in which there are affairs, however ethical the process is. However, I do believe that the ENM movement asks good questions. I made a video about this that you may want to watch with your husband. I invite you to ask the following few questions. First, are you willing to share your husband with other women? If that is not the case, please do not force yourself to accept because you love him, because this is more about dependency and attachment than about love. A woman who loves and honors herself and believes in monogamy would not accept such an arrangement. Second question is, how willing are you to grow and do the often really painful work of learning to love oneself, learning to look at one's marriage and say, ooh, looks like we have neglected sex for the last, 12 years. And yes, I had 2 jobs. Yes, we had children. Yes, this, yes, that. But this is no excuse. How can we basically rekindle that passion and that love for each other? Because sex is mission critical for a happy marriage? And then the third question is, how willing is he to do the work on himself? I want to share some words of one of my dear teachers, David Deida. And basically, he says that what the feminine mostly needs from the masculine is attention. So here, if he divides his attention in half because he has a mistress, well, there is half for you. This is very treacherous territory. Every challenge is an opportunity. Will you use this invitation to grow his capacity to make you happy and your capacity to be fully loved by a man? May love win.